Welcome in. And today is going to be my custom patch notes. It's what I would do in the next season. Now, of course, this is never going to happen. I'm not a dev, even though I wish I was to actually fix the game. But anyway, let's begin. For Vanguard, it's Doctor Strange. The Sorcerer Supreme's magical defense gets a minor buff. Time to be a little bit more defensive. Shield durability goes from 700 to 750. I don't know why they're buffing Poke and buffing Brawl and then nerfing his shield. He deserves that shield. Captain America, the captain goes more on the offensive, slowing down the enemies. Removes the 20% ult increase to teammates during ult. While ulting, a new effect is added. 15% ult reduction to any enemy in range of Captain America's ult. Meaning, it just slows it down by 15%. Kind of how the 20% increases and makes you get the ult 20% faster. Less ult in the game is better. Penny Parker. Penny's webs become less oppressive. Cyber web snare's cooldown goes from 3 seconds to 4 seconds. This doesn't heavily impact our gameplay loop, but does slightly slow down the CCs. Venom. The lethal protector's tendrils now obey the laws of physics. Venom's tendrils no longer stay on targets who enter a phase state or who teleport. It's unfair that you can still do damage to these characters while they're in that state and still attach to them and know exactly where they are, even though you're not supposed to even interact with them. Duelist, Black Panther. Harder to get free value, more fair to balancing. Spinning kick damage goes down from 75 to 70. Spirit Rend dash damage goes down from 80 to 75. Then spear damage goes up from 50 to 55. Moon Knight. Khonshu must have been angry, weakening Moon Knight's ult power. Increase ult cost from 2,800 to 3,400. Phoenix. The Phoenix Force dims a little. Jean's firepower is less powerful. Telekinetic burst cooldown goes from 10 seconds to 12 seconds. Less CCs in the game, the better. Punisher. His damage becomes less frightening. Ult cost increase from 3,400 to 3,700. Shotgun damage per round goes from 10 to 8. Bullets fired from shotgun go from 16 to 14 damage. I mostly did this because other than him getting his ult extremely quickly in my games, like it feels like he gets it every team fight, the shotgun Punisher meta with him is just horrible to go against because there's literally nothing you can really do about it if you don't have like a Loki or something at your backline. When the zip line's back there, 2 taps both your supports, gets out of there with the zip line. That's not fun to go against. Every single Punisher I've gone against has had their shotgun out for 90% of the game, just either blasting the tanks or just walking around them and just shooting at the DPS or supports. We need to nerf the shotgun. Squirrel. No more waiting for your ult to do the work for you. Ult no longer follows enemies' locations. Instead, you have to calculate where you want to throw the stampede. It is extremely unfair how everyone in the entire game has to determine where their ult is and where it will go, but Squirrel is just the exception, and her ult does like 200 plus damage per hit, and if it hits a corner, well, good luck, you're dead instantly, because that's 400 damage in less than a second. Yeah, no, that shouldn't be in the game. Scarlet Witch. No more looking anywhere and getting damage. Now you need to aim and strategize more, increasing self-sustain. Right-click burst is now her primary. Damage goes from 40 to 35, but charges go from 4 to 12 charges. Right-click is now a mini shield with 150 HP. Recovers 30 a second after 1 second. If destroyed, recovers after 3 seconds. So exact same as Strange's shield in terms of that. In terms of the recovery. She shouldn't reach 90 degrees with her beam. I don't know, maybe that's just a me thing though. Elsa Bloodstone. Glartrox gets a timeout. Ult now has a 6-second timer, meaning it can only be out. Glartrox can only be out for 6 seconds maximum. When she returns Glartrox back to her, he no longer goes past her original point of recall. Glartrox's health goes from 400 to 350. It is horrible to go against an Elsa when you're stunned for feels like 10 plus seconds as she continues to dash back with her 3 dashes, consistently doing damage, getting you like, it feels like half across the world before you can actually play the game again. Spider-Man. Sorry Spidey, your webs are less bendable. Webs now detach if a character teleports, goes through a portal, or if a character goes into a phasing state. Wolverine. Less ults, more base gameplay. Increase ult cost from 2,800 to 3,100. So this only removes half of the buff he got a couple seasons ago with a minus 600. Right now he still gets ult way quicker than most characters, and after the 600 ult buff, it's only a 2% difference between now and before he got that buff after the 20% nerf to ults globally. Strategist, there's only one. Loki. The Trickster's magic is more potent. While teleporting, Loki's hitbox instantly transfers over to the illusion he's teleporting to, no longer dying after he teleports because someone is still shooting at his illusion where you once were. It is extremely annoying to consistently die because a person is shooting at your illusion even though your view, even though your health all switched over 50 feet to the right, but since the person is still shooting at the illusion where you once were, you still take damage. It's extremely unfair. But yeah guys, let's buff BP. Let's complain about no regs on BP and all that. Okay. Team ups, new or removed. Deadpool and Wolverine. Deadpool's swords are now Wolverine's claws, keeping all qualities, but now affecting enemies with an 8% healing reduction lasting for 4 seconds, but does not stack on the same enemy. When getting an elimination with the claws, Deadpool now says till you're 90. Puny God. Hulk can now spawn in a Loki illusion, or I guess Loki can spawn one in for himself, but Hulk is the one who actually has to press the button to spawn it in, throwing it at enemies, dealing 70 damage to direct hits and 35 on splash, while also causing a small knockback. 30-second cooldown. Now, a lot of these changes, I will admit, is just quality of life. I feel like they should do a patch like that, just quality of life, less CCs, actually like bug fixes, it feels like Spider-Man's web pool, Venom's tendrils, just quality of life. Like, people have been begging for more durability on Strange's shield. People have been complaining about the ult, so 20% increase is removed, less CCs, more fair on lower ranked players, and even higher ranked going against very good Black Panthers, less CCs, killing the ult merchant, actually making him around where most actually DPS are, 3,400. Punisher, same thing, less ults, and getting him his meta out of there. Right now, in my opinion, he's S tier. He really is. He can fight close range, long range, has a movement ability, has a turret with a whole bunch of health, has an ult, which is probably the highest DPS per second on the entire game. Like, it's annoying to deal with a good Punisher. Scarlet Witch getting rid of her auto aim that reaches to like Tahiti. Getting rid of this because you have to consistently dodge it, and if people don't destroy the squirrels, you're pretty much dead. That she can like fire behind her and can just bounce to you somehow. I remember in a match, Squirrel Girl missed her ult, it flew off the edge to the lower level. It somehow made its way back to the second level and like did a bunch of damage to me. It's like, what the hell is happening here? Elsa again nerfed to her ult. Why that is in the game, that's interesting. Wolverine a slight ult increase. Loki is more like a bug fix. Deadpool and Wolverine something the community has consistently wanted. Then Puny God, a reference to the movies. I don't know, what do you guys think of these changes? If I were the devs and I would put this in, at least in the Bounce patch notes devs. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next YouTube video. See you.